Very often, we have two or more fractions, and we want to write equivalents that all have the same denominator. Well, what do we need to do in order to do that? Remember, we can write an equivalent with any denominator that is a multiple of the given denominator. So that means if we want to write equivalents to two different fractions, where each one has the same denominator, well, we need a common multiple of the denominators. Because we like to do arithmetic with small numbers, we prefer the least common multiple. When we're using the least common multiple of denominators as a shared denominator for several fractions, we call this number the least common denominator, or LCD. Alright, so that's a lot of terminology, a lot of theory to throw at you. Let's see what we actually do. Let's suppose we want to write equivalents to the fractions 5/6 and 7/4 that have like denominators. Right, so like here just means the same. First, we need to figure out what denominator we're going to use. So first we need to find the least common multiple of 4 and 6. These are very small numbers, so I expect that the least common multiple is going to be fairly small, so I'll do it by making lists. Multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and I hope I'll have found it by then. The multiples of 6 are 6, not on both lists. 12, oh, there it is. 12 is on both lists. The least common multiple is 12. So then my second step is to write equivalents to each fraction with this denominator. So we're going to say 5/6 is 5 times something over 6 times that same thing is something over 12. And 7/4 is 7 times something over 4 times that same thing is also some number of 12ths. Well, 6 times what is 12? 6 times 2 is 12. We can see that by counting 1, 2 in our list, or by consulting our multiplication table. So because we're cutting each sixth into 2 equal parts, our 5/6 are each going to be cut into 2 equal parts, and we'll end up with 5 times 2 is 10/6. Alright, what about 4? 4 times what is 12? Again, we could either count in our list 1, 2, 3, or check our multiplication table. 4 times 3 is 12. Because we're cutting each fourth into 3 equal parts, each of our 7/4 will be cut into 3 equal parts. And we'll end up with 7 times 3 is 21/12. And that's all there is to it. I'm going to give you one of these to try. You can use whichever method of finding the least common multiple you prefer. Write equivalents to 3/2 and 5/8 with like denominators. Use the smallest denominator possible. Pause the video and try this now. Alright, so first we're going to find the least common multiple of 2 and 8. Alright, and again, these are small numbers, so I'm going to do this by making lists. 2, 4, 6, 8, oh, I think that's it. Alright. Multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. Multiples of 8, well, the very first one is 8. So 8 itself is the least common multiple of 3 and 8. We'll say 3/2 is 2 times something under 3 times something is equal to some number of eighths. And, well, 5/8 we're just going to leave as 5/8. What do we need to multiply 2 by to get 8? We can count in our list, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or we can check our multiplication table. Either way, 2 times 4 is 8. We're cutting each half into 4 equal parts. So each of our 3 halves gets cut into 4 equal parts. 3 times 4, 3 halves is equal to 12/8.